Alright, today we'll be showing you how a Unichip is installed, how it is tuned, and what are the benefits of actually getting one installed in your car. And here we have a 2017 Toyota Vios with the latest dual VVTi engine that already has an intake and a header. So we're going to be installing Unichip next on this car to get more power. In a nutshell, what Unichip is, it's a computer that goes on top of the stock ECU, and we're able to program this to give different commands to the ECU that says, okay, give us more fuel, give us less fuel, give us more spark plug timing, give us less spark plug timing, and among other things. More advanced features are we could use this to control additional injectors to supply a turbocharger, injector controllers for diesel engines, nitrous control, and sometimes also map switching. We can have up to 5 different maps for this one, such as if you want valet mode, total shutdown mode, immobilizer mode, and all of that. And this is where Unichip is installed. It's going to be installed very, very near the car's ECU, which in this case for the Vios, it's hidden behind the glove compartment. So it's 8 wires to install. On most other cars nowadays, the computer box is usually found in the engine bay. Like if you have a Civic, you have a Jazz, you have a Focus. All the computer boxes are now found inside the engine, and that's where Unichip will also be installed. So the way that we install it is we have to cut and splice a few wires. It's normally about 8. Those are power, ground, throttle position, crank position, mass airflow sensor, among other things. So every joint we actually solder and then we shrink wrap and we tape over. So rest assured that nothing will get shorted, nor will it catch fire. That simply does not happen. This is a Unichip wiring diagram. Only we have access to it, the official Unichip installer for the Philippines, which is us in Speedlab. In the Unichip database, there are over 1,000 cars that have diagrams for it. It ranges from something as old as a 1996 Corolla 4 AFA engine to the latest Ranger Raptor, which we're going to be available in a few months. So it's basically 8 wires here. These are the 8 wires that connect to the Unichip. Then these 8 wires connect to the wiring harness of the ECU. It's, by the way, just the wiring harness, not the ECU itself. We don't open this up, we don't touch this, so that remains as is. A little bit of history about Unichip. This has been around actually for the better part of 25 years. The guy who invented it, Peter de Wert, is Dutch. He currently lives in South Africa. That's where he produces it. I think he gets a special government grant from the South African government for that one. And then it's actually exported all over the world. You can check it out on the internet. You can check out all the reviews. It's there. It's Unichip because it really is universal. We can use it for pretty much anything with an ECU. Gas, diesel, Chinese, European, American, Japanese, Korean cars. As long as it's an ECU, most likely we can install Unichip on it. So there are still certain cars like this Toyota Vios, you cannot remap the ECU, you cannot change the settings inside the ECU, so your only option for tuning is with the Unichip. Alright, now the Unichip is now connected to the ECU. For this particular car, we're using the Unichip Q4, which has an additional 4 wires to control the throttle because all cars now have electronic throttle. What this basically does is it equalizes the throttle opening, because with all cars nowadays, what happens is you step on the pedal this fast, the throttle butterfly opens this fast. That's the delay that everybody is complaining about with all modern cars. You step on it like this, it goes like this. So what the Unichip does with the throttle control is it makes it 1:1. You step on it fast, it opens fast also. So resulting in a mas malakas sumibat na kotse. So right now, it's connected to the ECU, everything's working, the car's running, the engine is running, it revs fine. There are no check engine lights whatsoever, so that means that installation is done correctly and everything is working. With every Unichip install, we actually put in a unique starting program depending on what the ECU is. In the Unichip database, there are over 100 starting programs for 100 different cars and 100 different vehicle models and makes and engines actually. So after this one, we're going to be putting the car on the dyno and we're going to be tuning it there to see what the final horsepower is. Horsepower and torque actually. So stay tuned for that one. We're going to be putting it on now. Okay, we're done with the tuning of the Vios here with the Unichip, and this is the results. This red line here is the baseline power. This already has our cold air intake and our headers. So it's about 91 horses, which is actually pretty good for a 1.3 car. For reference, 90 horses or so is the territory of about 1.5 cars like the Jazz and the 1.5 Vios. This blue line here is after tuning with the Unichip. So at peak power, we're at 100 horses, so it's almost 10 horses more at 6,000 RPM. But the biggest gain here is actually, if you look at the torque graph on this side, at the initial step, there's about 6 foot-pounds here. This is even bigger, it's about 8 foot-pounds. Then this dip here is another 8 foot-pounds. So, and this is at the very critical 1,800 to 3,500 area where most of your overtaking happens. So the end result is a faster car, more powerful, a lot more responsive, and drive normally. Given this, you should see about 8 to 10% better mileage. So that's basically the whole Unichip install and tuning process. As from start to finish, it took us about 3 hours total, from wiring up the car to putting it on the dyno, to tuning it, to getting out of the dyno. So it's probably less than half a day. And you walk away with 10 horses on a 1.3 Vios. For other cars, say bigger engines, like a 1.8 Civic, it's anywhere from 12 to 15 horses more. For turbo diesels, we actually get 40, sometimes 50 horses more. The best part is, when you sell the car, you can actually take the Unichip out, install it in whatever next car that you're going to purchase, be a gasoline car, diesel car, any brand, as long as it has an ECU. Your Unichip can be installed in that and can be tuned again, reused, make more power for your new car.